And we are rolling on December 8th. We're about to hear a persuasive speech from Zoe.
Thank you. It's a beautiful day outside, too.
Thank you for reminding me. We're here at UCLA where it's perfect outside. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Zoe.
Hi, Zoe.
Alice Waters, a food activist, writer, and restaurateur, and one of my personal heroes, once said, "The decisions we make about what to eat are choices and values that reflect our life in every way." It's a pretty complicated quote, a little bit, but you've all heard this before. Basically, you are what you eat. Today, I'm up here to persuade you to only eat happy meat. Now, what's happy meat, you might ask? Happy meat is meat that's raised humanely, lives a decent life, and is slaughtered humanely. Basically, I'm here to tell you not to eat factory-farmed meat. I'm not here to tell you to be a vegetarian or to save all the animals, because, let's face it, that's not the way to go about it. But I'm here to tell you 2 reasons why you shouldn't eat factory-farmed meat, and 3 benefits that will follow if you adopt my proposal. Whether you consider yourself a humanitarian, an economist, anything actually, if you consider yourself kind of like an educated human being, you might find some of the facts about the factory farming industry shocking. The first reason I'm going to tell you why eating factory farm meat is not the way to go about living your life is because of how the animals are treated. The animals that are raised in factory farms are treated in an extremely inhumane way, yet the FDA still overlooks these practices. For example, a researcher named Dr. Nicholas Lampkin at the University of Wales did a study in 2013 that found that chickens raised in factory farms have as little as 6/10 of a space to live in. Now, if I'm doing my math correctly, that's 7.2 inches of space. That much. That much space. A chicken is about the size of my arm. I lived on a farm. I know a lot about chickens. This overcrowding of chickens leads them to be very aggressive, and Dr. Nicholas Lampkin actually found that in a lot of factory farms, they debeak these birds so they don't eat each other. These chickens are so crowded that they actually end up eating each other. I feel shocked that we even implore the idea of supporting these factory farms. I grew up on a organic, grass-fed farm in upstate New York, and I know how sentient these animals are. I know that these creatures have feelings, emotions, personalities, and that the fact that we even think about supporting these farms is ridiculous. So I want you to reconsider that Taco Bell beef quesarito next time you're having a hankering for it at 1 in the morning, because that meat is probably raised pretty inhumanely. The second reason I'm persuading you not to eat factory farm meat is because it's better for the environment not to eat factory farm meat. Now, I'm not going to tell you that you're saving the environment by choosing to eat happy meat, but you're making little strides. So an example, a reason why it's better for the environment not to eat factory farm meat is a study done by the Environmental Protection Agency in 2014 came up with the statistic that hog, cattle, and chicken waste contaminated 35,000 miles of rivers in over 22 states and contaminated groundwater in 17 states. Now, that's a staggering amount of pollution just due to the factory farming industry. I also want you to realize that factory farming takes about 1/3 of the world's fresh water. That is one of humans' greatest, humans use the most amount of water in factory farming than any other activity that we engage in. So next time you're thinking about buying a ground beef patty, consider the effect you have on our environment and the fact that we're in a huge drought in California. It's an issue. It's a reality. I feel sad because I know that there are ways to sustainably raise meat, and if you adopt my some practices I'm going to tell you about, then you will be helping the environment in a couple ways. So I will now outline 3 practices you can take to avoid factory farm meat. First, look at the labels. Be an educated consumer. Avoid things like Tyson meat and Purdue, and opt for Applegate and Nature's Rancher instead. Second, adopt the practice of meatless Mondays. Opt for a plant-based diet instead of meat because it will be reducing your carbon footprint. And third, support your local farmers, like my family farm. For example, the Santa Monica Seafood Company is a mere 5 miles away, and they serve it in B plate, and you can buy it in Whole Foods. So it's a really easy, simple thing you can do to buy happy meat and not support the factory farming industry. When you adopt these practices, when you adopt the practice of eating happy meat, you in turn will be happy because you're treating animals well and you're not affecting the environment in a negative way. So overall, I've told you 2 reasons why you shouldn't support factory farming and 3 benefits that will follow. As Alice Waters says, you are what you eat. So when you have a hankering for In-N-Out at 1 in the morning, think about how the choice you make in food reflects your values. And if you're a person that supports the inhumane treatment of animals, then that's not good.
Thank you. 607, real quick, what'd you like?
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
Yeah.
I think you did a really nice job. I love the fact that you didn't tell us all to become vegetarians. I think that's something that you could have easily done and made that broad statement, but you realized that not all of us are ever going to become vegetarians. So I thought it was a really cool
That's good, yeah.
way to approach the subject and make it very doable for all of us. So I thought it was good.
That's a hard, persuasive task to get people to give up all their meat. Improvement.
Hi, I'm Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Improvement. I'm not sure. I really like your speech. I like the content of it. Maybe just like, I don't know, just calm down a bit. I don't know. Does that make sense? Yeah. I don't know. Your speech is good.
Can I ask a clarifying question to that?
Yeah, sure.
Calm, do you mean like my nerves, or do you
Take
mean
it
like
chill.
Yeah, a little bit like
passion in the voice?
nerves.
Okay.
No, attachment's good. It's just like a bit of nerves.
You went over time, Zoe. That hurts your credibility a little, but you had a very thorough and complete speech. I think you could have picked up some of your time with your introduction. It was pretty long. I would have just gotten right to the point and said, gotten down to your factory farms. Your credibility was excellent. You cited the date and the source, and they were excellent sources, so you had good credibility. Your own credibility was high, and you had your good proposals of actions. I think you could have made them shorter. Just meatless Mondays, 3 sentences really. When you saw that you were so short of time, just figure it out. And your appeal was to the moral sense too, and the carbon footprint and all that. What was unexpected in this speech?
I thought the unexpected element of the speech was the statistics that I gave, especially about the inhumane practices that factory farms use. And then also that fact that I grew up on a farm and that I have firsthand experience in knowing that there's other alternatives to factory farming.
Yeah. Okay, very nice. Thank you, Zoe. Okay, next,
Thank you
quickly.
for your
Thank you, Zoe. Hi. Stephanie stands before you, managing attention, communicating respect. Say your name, feel the love, start your speech.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
Arthur Ashe, a prominent UCLA alumni and person who our student medical center is named after, once said, "From what we get, we make a living. From what we give, we make a life." And today I want to tell you about an opportunity where you can do just that. You can give and truly change somebody's life. Today I want to persuade you all to become organ donors. I'm going to give you 2 reasons why you should, 3 actions that you can do, and the benefits that will follow if you adopt my proposal. I know you'll all be interested in my speech today because organ donation truly saves and changes people's lives. We're all college students and we may think that we are invincible now, but you will never know one day when you might need an organ donation, or worse, when one of your loved ones might need one.
Good.
The first reason why I want to convince you all to become organ donors is because you can save lives. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services in 2015 stated that approximately 22 people die daily who are on the organ donation list because there simply are not enough donors. What that means is usually there's about 22 people in this room that by the end of the day we would all be dead if we were on that list. Furthermore, though, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services also states that when you do become a donor, you can save up to 8 lives, as well as positively affect more than 50 people's lives through tissue donation. So, if there were 22 people in this room, we could save more than 160 lives, as well as positively affect more than 1,000 people. And if that statistic alone doesn't blow your mind, let me tell you about a personal connection I have to organ donation. My grandmother in 2012 found herself lying on her deathbed in the hospital dying of liver failure. Doctors said that she would die in the next couple of months if she didn't receive an organ donation. Days passed, weeks passed, and it seemed bleak. I didn't think that my grandmother was ever going to receive an organ. However, a couple months passed and she did. And I can tell you that my family and I are eternally grateful for the more time that we get to spend with my grandmother. The second reason why I want to convince you all to become organ donors is it's incredibly easy to become one. It's really simple and it doesn't come at any cost to you. What I mean by that is when you sign up to become an organ donor, or when you actually donate an organ, you do not have to pay for this process. It's also really easy and takes about 3 minutes to do so. You have to fill out a couple forms, dot your I's, cross your T's, and then you can become an organ donor. You may ask how I know how simple and easy this is. Well, I myself am an organ donor. When I was 16, I was prompted with the idea to become one when I signed up for my driver's license. Because of my personal connection as well as my research on the subject, I decided it was a great idea for me, and I haven't regretted my decision yet. Third, I want to tell you about a couple actions you can take to become an organ donor. First, educate yourself. I think it's really important that you all know what comes with being an organ donor as well as the process. You can go on to organdonor.gov to read more about this and to get more statistics to further convince you all about how great organ donation is. Second, you can go to the DMV and sign up to be an organ donor. The closest DMV to us is located on Colorado Boulevard, only a 15-minute drive from UCLA, or you can take the number 1 bus going to Santa Monica. The third way that you can help organ donation, if you don't actually want to be a donor yourself, is to educate the masses. On organdonor.gov, you can sign up to be part of the college campus challenge, and they will give you information to disseminate to all UCLA students to further educate the masses. The benefits that you'll receive by doing these actions, most importantly, you will be saving lives, and you'll personally have the satisfaction of knowing that. Second, by educating the masses about organ donation, you can improve the amount of donors and ultimately increase the number of people saved from organ donation. In conclusion, I've told you 2 reasons, actions, and benefits you'll receive if you become an organ donor. There should be no doubt in this room that organ donation truly changes and saves lives. I hope that you guys learned today a little bit more about that, as well as why you should become an organ donor. As Arthur Ashe so nicely said at the beginning, from what we get, we make a living, but what we give, we can make a life. So let's follow these wise words of our fellow Bruin. Give, make a life, and become an organ donor.
Thank you. 503. Yes, please. What'd you like?
Hi, my name is Dominick.
Hi, Dominick.
I really liked your speech and I was able to relate to it because I also am an organ donor and I had a grandparent who suffered from different internal like diseases and problems. And I also really liked how you said how easy it was to become an organ donor and not only just like said what forms you had to fill out, but you listed like it's 15-minute drive away or you could take the number 1 bus. So
Yeah.
it really made it seem so easy to do.
Yeah, and the easier you make it for your audience, the more likely you are to get action. Growth. How can she improve?
Hi everyone, my name is Vartan.
Hi, Vartan.
Comm 103, by the way, guys. I like your speech overall. It was a great speech. The only improvement I would advise you to do next time is maybe slow down a little bit on your second point because I felt that you rushed the second one because you're.
Thank you.
You were running out of time, but that was fine. Stephanie, this is a really excellent speech. Love the Arthur Ashe quote, and the way you delivered it gave that second part the oomph-ah. What we give, however, makes alive. Yes, let's never forget that. And you tie back to that beautifully. Your sixth statement was good. Your first reason, I like the fact that you had 2015 stats, and then you had a personal story with your grandmother, and you had some tension there which you built up, and she got a donation, so that was good. Your second reason was you said it's easy, you don't have to give blood or do anything crazy, and so that was good. And I like the fact that you said you're a donor because, that gave you more credibility. And I thought there was a certain emotional connection that came through on your speech. Your concrete actions were fine. I love the number 1 bus. That was excellent. And your third one was a little vague, but okay. The benefits were well argued, and your tie back to Arthur Ashe was fine. You said, be confident, use appropriate hand gestures, and walk 3 times. How'd it go?
I think I was a little bit more comfortable walking. I think in the last speeches I just didn't walk. I kind of just swayed awkwardly.
Right.
I still do have some awkwardness in not being always in the power stance, so that's something I need to work on. Confident was better because I felt like I knew my speech and cared a little bit more about my speech because I had personal connections to it.
Yeah.
And the third one was hand motions. I do use them, but they could be more directed towards my points.
Well, that's good. What was unexpected?
Personally, what was unexpected for me, even being an organ donor, I think were the statistics. I had no idea that 22 people died each day, and I think that it would have maybe been a little more impactful if there were 22 people in here like there usually is, but to me that was unexpected.
Nice job, Stephanie. Thank you.
I had a quick question and just wanted to check and make sure.
Okay, I have a quick answer. What is it?
Perfect. I know that my introduction speech was not in there. Is it in there now?
Yeah, it's in there now. See? 48.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the class.
I enjoyed having you, Stephanie. Okay, rock and roll. Liz with 2 Z's, huh?
Yeah.
Guess your parents wanted you to stand out, huh?
Yeah, it's weird.
Liz Taylor, huh? Okay, and she's managing attention in the power stance, communicating respect, finding friendly eyes in the front center, saying name for the left, start your speech.
Hi everyone, I'm Liz.
Hi, Liz.
So suffrage parade, U.S. 1913. Women were spit on, slapped in the face, pelted with burning cigar butts, and insulted with words so cruel and vile to print or write. This August marked the 95th anniversary of women's suffrage movement in the United States, a movement that was not asked but rather demanded. For the past decades, young American voters have deprived themselves from the right to vote. As in the words of Franklin D. Roosevelt, no one can ever deprive the American people of the right to vote except the American people themselves, and they do this by not voting. Today, I want to persuade everyone in this room to register and go vote in next year's presidential election. I would offer I'm going to tell you 2 reasons why you should go and vote next year and some actions and benefits that will arise if you choose to adopt my proposal. So according to vote.usa.gov, in 2014, only 38.5% of the eligible U.S. population voted. This has been the lowest voter turnout since 1978. In the 2012 presidential election, only 17% of young voters ages 18 to 29 voted, unlike 55% of voters 60 years and up. This means that we as young individuals, we're not creating our own future. Our future is being paved by others. And since next year, I believe it's going to be the first year that most people in this room get a vote for a first time, I'm pretty sure that you'll be interested to hear what I have to say.
Good.
So the first reason why I want to persuade everyone in this room to vote in next year's presidential election is simply because you can. You have this right and privilege to vote. Your vote is your voice, and without it, only a small percentage of Americans will decide the future of this country. Your voice is your vote, so let it be heard. There's many groups around the world that are not provided with this privilege. Many groups, even here in the United States, that are not granted this right. Individuals such as undocumented individuals are not granted with this privilege. They are not allowed a voice in our political spectrum within the U.S. Individuals such as my parents, my older sister, and many of my college-educated friends are not provided with this privilege. The second reason why I want to encourage everyone in here to go out and vote next year is because voting encourages change, and it encourages a positive future for everyone. So as mentioned earlier, young voters have not been going out and voting as much as we'd like. In the 2014 U.S. Census, it says that voting rates increase as age increases. In every presidential election since 1964, the voting group from ages 18 to 24 have been the one that has least participated in. This means that overall, young Americans are having the least engagement in everything. Rates have actually dropped over the past decades from 50% to 38% of young voters going out and voicing their opinions. So what does this mean? Like stated before, we are not creating our own future. A future that we need as a generation is not being created by us, and we're not really going out and voting and creating a change. So third, I want to offer you some actions that you can take to facilitate you voting in next year's presidential election. The first action that you can go and take is actually register. Go online. It's really easy. It takes less than 10 minutes. You could do it online, in person, or by mail. The second action you can take is find your nearest polling place. When it comes to next year and you're looking at where you can vote, go find your nearest polling place. You go online, search it up, and then write it in your planner and make a set date. The third action that you can take is on the day of, make it a date, make it fun. Take friends with you, and in the process you encourage others to go and vote with you. And I'm pretty sure that the benefits that come from you voting will not only impact you, but it will impact our whole generation. By having more people vote, it'll benefit everyone, and it'll get us what we need and what we want for the future. So in summary, I have provided you all with some actions that you can take in order to go out and register and vote, and reasons why you should do so. In all, I'm pretty sure that there should be no doubt in this room that next year everyone is going to go out and vote and make their voice be heard. So go out and do the unexpected, register to vote, actually go out and vote, let your voice be heard. Because remember that bad politicians are sent to Washington, D.C. by good people like you and me who do not go out and vote. And keep in mind the words of FDR, one of our amazing presidents, that only we can deny ourselves the right to vote by not going out and voting.
Thank you. 438. I guess we're back there.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer.
I really liked your speech, and I like how you had a lot of energy and you seemed very passionate about what you were arguing. But it didn't apply to me because I can't vote. But I know, I feel now that a lot of other people should be voting.
Okay, right here.
I really liked your speech.
Name?
Oh, sorry, my name is Audrey.
Hi, Audrey.
I liked your speech and how you really, from the beginning, how you structured it, and it really urged us to vote, even though some of us haven't voted yet. One thing maybe is to slow down some of your examples to back up your statement, and also the tie back was a little bit rushed, but overall I think it was really great.
Yeah. Liz, yeah, good topic. It was your boilerplate, get out and vote, and it's a hard one. It's a real hard one to know why people don't vote and what's going to motivate them. And I don't know what your unique appeals were here, guilt or shaming them, or I'm not sure what you thought you were going to get them to do by talking about these low statistics. Your sixth statement was real good, a little long but good. You really pointed out we have a serious problem. We have the right to vote and people aren't exercising it. And around the world people are dying and would die to get the right to vote. And people are just taking it for granted here. On your first reason, you had your statistics and then you had your personal story, and I wish you would have elaborated more on your personal story about your parents. That was a little light, and that would have made it better. Your second reason, you said that you were heavy on your statistics, lots of statistics in this speech, and I would have sent you to review what your sticky text said about the most effective use of statistics and how you can overdo it. And then I didn't get much personal from you on your second reason. Your actions were consistent with your what you were advocating, and you tried to make it simple, go to your nearest polling place and that sort of thing. Your summary, your conclusion, and tie back were all fine. You said, remember the quotes, give purpose to my movement, and stay within the time. How'd it go?
I went below time. That's really the first time I actually always go over.
Yeah, well, that was good. You stayed under time, yeah.
Yeah. I remembered quotes, which last time I didn't. I stuttered last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And purpose to your movements, were they purposeful, did you think? Yeah. Okay, the only thing I would say is if you had a personal angle in this, more of a personal angle, more personal stories about voting, that would have been, the topping on the cake. But anyway, you did a nice job, Liz. Thank you.
And we email you the
self-evaluation for this. Yeah. Thank you. Hi.
Hi.
We having fun yet?
So much fun. It's the best day of the week.
I already filled this out for you, so just out of an act of kindness.
Oh, the other stuff?
This one, because you sent me this on a. Didn't you send me this on a email? Oh, you didn't.
I'm Alexia.
Oh, you didn't send this to me on an email? Oh, good. So you're just turning this in late.
No. We had this conversation.
We had this conversation?
Yeah.
No. Okay, good.
It was an extension.
So I just got back from the scoring center, so I guess I'll score this one manually. Okay, good. Okay, well, let's rock and roll.
All right.
So try to stay behind the green box. Oh, you're coming in now, huh? No stapler, huh? Okay. Here you can use the green meanie. Thank you. Oh, yeah. I love yours.
Will you be in your office hours later today?
I'll be in until midnight.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I'm busy. I have appointments till 5.
Okay. I'll see you in your office.
Your name isn't on this, okay?
It is. It's just not on the first page.
Great. Okay.
All right. Hi, everyone. So my name is Alexia.
Hi, Alexia.
So Gandhi once said that Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's needs, but not every man's greed.
These words are both powerful and truthful. Unfortunately, we live in a society where it is acceptable that the greed of a very select few overshadows the basic needs of the many. And I don't think that that's right. I think that in order for all of us to live happy and healthy lives on this planet and in this lifetime, we need to learn how to share and make more compassionate choices. So today, I want to persuade you to adopt a mostly plant-based diet, avoiding most, if not all, meat and dairy products. So first, I will give you 2 reasons why it is important to try and just avoid meat and dairy products, and then I will follow up by giving concrete actions and benefits that will follow if you adopt my proposal. So, did you guys know that the animal agriculture industry, aka the industry that offers our endless supply of burgers and milkshakes, is the single leading cause of global warming, species extinction, ocean dead zones, habitat destruction, and water pollution, according to the United States Environmental Protection Agency? Well, if not, I urge you to become aware of these issues because they're ones that affect all of us every single day. So first, it is important to avoid meat and dairy products because this socially irresponsible habit has negative consequences for others, whether we are aware of it or not. So we're currently growing enough food on this planet to feed 10 billion people. Yet there are people who die of starvation every single day. And so I ask myself, how is this possible? Well, instead of feeding the growing population with the food that we are able to grow, we choose to feed it to agricultural animals that are then slaughtered to feed people who are wealthy enough to afford that meat and that food. You know, we're very lucky to be American UCLA students who are blessed to not have to think about where our next meal is going to come from or the possibility of us starving. You know, I really urge you to imagine a reality in which this weren't the case, because really we just got lucky being born here. Imagine that you instead are growing up in a rural village in the Democratic Republic of Congo, one of the poorest countries in the entire world. Every single day you wake up with hunger pains, praying and hoping that your mom will have enough food to feed you and your brothers and sisters. And that is the reality of countless people all across the world. It makes me very sad to know that instead of choosing to feed our growing population, food seems to be reserved only for those who have enough money to afford it. And so the second reason why it is important for us to avoid meat products is because it is not an ecologically sustainable habit. So consider this. On 1.5 acres of land, it's possible to grow 37,000 pounds of plant-based food, but only 375 pounds of meat. To put this in perspective, if we have 1.5 acres of land and we choose to feed someone on a plant-based diet, we can feed 370 people, whereas on a meat diet, we can feed 3.75 people. So 3 people in comparison to over 300 people. This just doesn't make any sense.
Some actions you want him to take?
So now I will give you some concrete actions that you can take to become more socially responsible. So the first action that you can take is, of course, to avoid eating meat and dairy products. The second action you can take is to please do me a favor and watch Cowspiracy. This very useful documentary, which is where I got my facts from, gives a very well-rounded picture of this issue. And the third action you can take is to spread the word. Have conversations with your friends about this because these issues affect all of us. And the more we talk about it, hopefully the more people will be aware and make conscious decisions. And so when you have performed these actions, immediate benefits will follow. So first, not eating meat helps improve health and aids in weight loss. Another benefit that will come is that now you are just a more informed citizen. And the last benefit that will come is that you are really helping out people in other countries that don't have food and have the same opportunities as us. So, in summary, I have shown you given you 2 reasons why it is important to avoid meat and dairy products, as well as some concrete actions and benefits that will follow. So, you know, we don't need to be environmentalists to make a difference, but just make more informed decisions. The choice is ours, though. We can do as Gandhi said and satisfy the needs of the many, or only choose to satisfy the need or the greed of a few. Thank you.
5:35. Okay, what'd you like? We'll go to here, yeah.
I'm Karen.
Hi, Karen.
I really like your pace and the way you projected your voice. I feel like you had nice pauses. Because sometimes when I speak personally, I tend to speed up. So I really like how you spoke really calmly and very concisely.
Improvement? Anyone?
I think maybe just word economy. I'm
Yeah.
trying to see what I just a little bit, so.
Yeah, you were really pretty top heavy with your intro, thesis, and significance statement. That took about 90 seconds. This is a real tough sell, as you know, because people like their meat. And so you appeal to them, to sort of our guilt and our privilege to not do so much. And you had us imagine us growing up in the Congo and that sort of thing. You also, in your second reason, explained that we could get more out of the land if we moved it up the food chain. Got a little complicated and confused, could have been told more simply. And that's where I think the word economy would have come in. The actions that you advocated were fine, consistent with your persuasive intent. Your benefits were a little long. I think that's what made you go over. Your summary or conclusion, you skipped over. There should be no doubt in this room, but you had a good tie back. You said finish in time, speak with confidence, and don't forget any part. How'd it go?
Well, I didn't do any of those 3 things. I don't know what happened. Once I got to my second part, I tripped up and I couldn't remember where I was going next. And I think that really colored the rest of the speech, which kind of was unfortunate. But I got through it, which was good.
Yeah.
The timing didn't go over as much as it did in the past.
No, that was good, yeah.
So that, you know.
I agree with the comment back there that you had a certain calmness and clarity in your presenting, a certain firmness in your presentation. Last question, what was unexpected?
I incorporated the appeal to, like, imagine yourself as someone growing up in a little village. I thought that was an unexpected appeal, to put yourself in someone else's shoes, as opposed to having that distance, because we do view other people as being very distant from ourselves. So that
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. They're fighting for position. Hi.
Hi.
Ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Okay, rock and roll. Audrey.
Hi, everybody. My name is Audrey.
Hi, Audrey.
If I told you that Michael Jackson can potentially still be alive if his personal physician, Dr. Mary, knew how to perform CPR correctly, would you believe that?
Yes.
So CPR stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation. According to that 911 dispatch record that day, Dr. Mary shouted out loud in the room during that emergency, "Who here knows CPR?" So apparently he didn't know what he was doing. So I wanted to ask you, who here knows CPR? quite like some of you guys, right? So today I want to persuade you to all be CPR certified by taking a class. I'll provide you with 2 reasons and a few actions and the benefits that will come if you adopt my proposal. Many people feel helpless to act during cardiac emergencies simply because they don't know how to administer CPR or because that their training significantly lapsed, just like the case of Dr. Mary. This phenomenon is very alarming because it can hit close to home, because home is exactly where most cardiac arrests happen. So in other words, the life you'll save with CPR will most likely be the life of a loved one. The first reason why I want you to be CPR certified is because anyone can learn CPR, and everyone should. It's not as hard as it sounds. According to American Heart Association research done by Dr. Bruce Bickard in 2010, almost 400,000 people fall into cardiac arrest, but only 32% of those people ever even receive CPR from a bystander. That's simply not enough people who know CPR. So putting that into perspective, if we're in a room of 10 people, only 2 or 3 of us even get the chance to be saved by CPR, and that's shocking. I've been teaching CPR as a certified instructor for American Heart Association for over 2 years, and no one has ever failed to learn or pass the certification course. It only takes a few essential and straightforward steps to help someone regain consciousness. The second reason why I want you all to be CPR certified is because that you will potentially be that one person in that room who knows CPR to save a person's life. According to Critical Care Medicine, this published journal by Dr. Arab in 2010 said that CPR can delay the time that the brain has irreversible brain damage. And it only takes 3 to 5 minutes after a person falls into cardiac arrest for that person to have irreversible brain damage. I feel really strongly about this information because my grandfather fell into cardiac arrest in his home. At the time, no one knew how to perform CPR. And time is of the essence during a cardiac arrest emergency. For the time for paramedics to locate his home and climb up to the 4th floor, that caused him irreversible brain damage. So if that one person in his house at the time knew how to perform CPR, that might have delayed his chances of having irreversible brain damage. Third, I want to share some actions you can take. First, you can take a CPR class on campus. There are a lot of classes that are taught over weekends, and I've personally taken one of these classes, and I can tell you it's very hands-on, very fun, and educational. And it's also conveniently located on campus. The second action you can take is by watching videos posted on the American Heart Association website. The time you spent on Netflix or YouTube can easily be spent on educating yourself with crucial skills. The third action is you can review scientific articles related to cardiovascular diseases on the Web of Science, and also spread the information to your friends and family, at least to lower the chances of getting cardiac arrest. Finally, the benefits that will follow is that you'll feel very proud of yourself that you can actually save someone's life when you face a cardiac arrest emergency. So in summary, I told you 2 reasons and a few actions that you can take to be CPR certified and the benefits that will follow. So there should be no doubt in this room that you should be CPR certified because it's very essential in potentially saving someone's life. So tying back to the beginning, if I told you that the life you'll save is most potentially a loved one, a spouse, a parent, a child, or a friend, are you ready? Are you prepared to save that person's life?
5:15. Like.
Hi, I'm Karen.
Hi, Karen.
I really like topic, actually. I was never aware of how important CPR is, and I think it's really refreshing to hear a topic so different from all the previous ones. And I think you had really good projection and really good statistics. Thanks.
Improvement.
I enjoyed the speech too. I think that you can loosen up a little bit more. You can kind of like have your hands here and then you put your foot behind you and it's kind of like a little nervous in that little stance. So just maybe loosen up a little bit.
Thank
Yeah, Audrey, this was your best speech. You did everything I was looking for. You started with Michael Jackson, which was a grabber. He died very near here. I would have liked a more vivid tie back to Michael Jackson, and you did tie back to his spouse and the people, but that would have been an interesting tie back too. Your thesis, SIG statement were all fine, were excellent. Your first reason was the 400 cardiac arrest. I like the way 400,000. I like the way you stressed it with your voice. 32% do not get to the hospital in time. You shared your feelings. I feel shocked, and you actually came through as feeling shocked more so than you've been kind of stoic and quiet. So do more of that. That was good. The brain damage 3 to 5 minutes, and your grandfather's story, again, statistics and story, just how I wanted it done. On campus CPR, maybe tell us where on campus to go get it. Is it through Wooden or whatever? More specific, the more specific, the more likely you'll get action. You know, okay, somewhere on campus. It's a big campus. Benefits were fine. You said you wanted to work on word economy. Don't forget to walk and have clear transitions. How did it go?
I remember to walk this time because I forgot last time, so
Right.
I think I did that. Word economy, I think I could work on that better. When I was delivering the speech, part of my structure, like I only followed the structure, but the words I wanted to say were kind of blurry in my mind, so I feel like I could have worked on word economy.
Okay, you did a nice job today. Thank you. Okay, someone else is volunteering, and here he comes. Okay, we're going to do...
I'm going to go first.
You're going first. Okay, let's rock and roll. We unfortunately, the battery is dead, so it'll just take a moment while we change the battery. Can you lose the sunglasses? Thank you. I know it's part of your image. I gotta stop